What just happened to me?
It was
I
beating
don't
you
know.
up.
I got pushed out of the way though. I'm getting pushed down.
That
I
cause a
was
big
watching.
Grady came through with them
Did you
hips.
get pushed down?
I
Yeah, it does that
did.
sometimes.
You got
Push
tuck them
people
hips
around
in
me?
here, Big Grady. Come through knocking us down.
Oh, there he
I was
is.
I
watching
need
Your
your
hips
Murphy's
help.
Road
away.
one day.
Teacher Danny.
All right, friends and family of the Teacher Danny Show, thank you so much for joining us for however long you're going to join us today. We got a really special episode. A good friend and amazing creator, JahWadii, is here for us. I just realized my, I don't know if you can hear me when I go up that high, but I just like using this ball. I paid $5 for it. I'm going to use it. So here on the Teacher Danny Show, we're talking all things metaverse. Today is no exception. Before I bring up our guest, let me just do a little housekeeping. If anybody needs to converse with their friends, go ahead, hop into a party. If you got to go, you got to go. If you can stay, there's robots in the back if somebody gets bored, but that's not going to happen, at least for the next 40 minutes, that's for sure. Now, one of the things that I do as Teacher Danny is I keep emphasizing safety and health as the metaverse grows. And the reason I do that is because when the internet came out and when social media and all these amazing technologies, even the radio, we knew, we could tell right away these things were like miracles, and they spread like wildfire, and they connected us in so many ways. But we didn't foresee a lot of the poisons, the toxicities, some of the evils that come with it. And clearly, the metaverse is going to be, subject to the exact same thing. There's no way. I'm sure people are already having unhealthy relationships with their headset, and people are getting scammed. So the reason I make such a big deal of it now is not because I think so many people will listen, but because the metaverse is in its infancy. So all of us, just remember, if you do something positive for the metaverse now, it will like multiply, okay, exponentially. It will grow because you're doing it as a seed. And as we all know, like a baby, if a baby has a healthy upbringing, makes a huge difference in how it grows up. So let's always focus on that. Let's always try to keep the kids safe, keep ourselves safe, and let's go outside and touch grass. We don't need to live in these things, okay? All right, so on to the fun part of the show. I should make a little soapbox for when I talk like that. Let's go ahead and bring up my guest, JahWadii. I got a seat right here for you. Oh,
okay.
Yeah, man. Welcome. Yeah. Now, JahWadii is a creator here in the metaverse, as well as many other things. And I think maybe a lot of people know you from your Instagram page called Mr. Metaverse.
Correct.
Yeah. Now, before we even get to your new production, Streetlights, can you tell me, like, do you feel like your Instagram page has a theme?
Not really. But yeah, you can say it's a theme. It's all theme metaverse, all theme virtual reality, all theme mixed reality. And the main theme is one of the themes also I'm working on now, Lat Pass, is being on Las Vegas or being on the strip and doing the mixed reality, trying to get people information to know about the art community.
Well, you've been doing that for a while now, huh?
Yeah, maybe about 5 years.
Yeah, that's a while, especially, since, as far as the version of this technology that we have now, that's when it was absolute newborn.
And what I learned was there's a lot of people who know what VR is. They heard of the word, but the thing they keep saying, what we all got past was the motion sickness. And so what I did, I took the Quest 3 or the Quest Pro, and I brought them into a mixed reality approach from it first, and then brought them into the full immerse. And then they got comfortable. They're starting to realize what it is.
And was that consistent? Like, if people got the augmented reality first, where they can still see part of the real world, and then went into VR, that prevented sickness?
Correct. Well, yeah, it prevented sickness because that was a better way of ushering them in, doing the mixed reality. So I would build in mixed reality, but bring them in that way they could still see the real world, so their mind won't get foggy or motion sickness. And then they're like, oh, I like this. This is more comfortable. I didn't know you could do this. And then that'll give them, get them a little bit, get them baby teaspoons, baby food.
That's a perfect idea. Didn't I see you out there with the Apple headset before?
Yeah, I'm out there with the Apple headset too as well. And so I just let them see the Apple headset on where we're going in the future.
Okay.
When it comes down to graphics, you know,
Yeah.
We are the early adopters, learning the psychology of the metaverse, learning how it works together, learning how our emotions being dealt with, you know, left and right. But for the most part, it's fun. It's fun to see people's reaction.
So what surprised you most about the psychology of being in the metaverse?
What surprised me the most is that dealing with my character, dealing with my emotions, dealing with how some people would treat me, be curt because of the easiness of, you know, disconnecting yourself from people's lives. Like, it's so easy to quit on people in here, and got in my feelings. That was the most surprising part, which I liked, because now it challenged my character to be in more self-control.
Okay. That's remarkable. One of the things that surprised me a lot about, I guess you could call metaverse psychology, is some of the things that are similar. Like, for example, body language, how we're facing each other. You know, your lips don't move exactly the way you talk like in real life. And sometimes our lips don't even move at all. So why am I facing you? Why am I looking at you? You know, why did I set a chair here? Why aren't we all just grouped up on top of each other? Why do we even have regular avatars? And it really normalizes a lot of stuff for us.
That's a good point. You want me to answer that?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I think what it is that when it comes down to telephone calls, text messaging, inboxing, DMs, there's nothing that compares to in the headset, because it feels like you're standing next to me. Yes, we're avatars, but it feels like you're standing next to me. So if someone on a panel would call my name, like you said, I won't just be bunched up to them and just say, "Hey, how you doing?" I'll actually turn around and look for the person who called me. So if if I'm talking to you right here, and Alley Cat would say, "Oh, Juna say Ja," I would turn my headset around and, "Oh, it's Juna." And so that's the psychology of the metaverse, why it's better than text messaging, Facebook, dating sites, telephone calls, inboxing and texting. So the psychology is that it feels like somebody's in my presence. That's the biggest things that I noticed.
And that's super hard to convey through 2D. You know, like when we take videos of this stuff, and you just can't convey, because like you said, the graphics aren't exactly crushing it yet. And so it's cartoony. We are cartoons. You know, our avatars are cartoons.
It's cartoony, but to know that you got three people over here having a conversation and you're in your headset and you can't hear the conversation. But the closer you get to them, you start to hear the conversation volume go up higher and higher. So it gives you that fixation, like, wow. Oh, so I have to go over there to hear the conversation, and it feels like you're here. So if one of these individuals, lovely people that's in the panel, were my family member or my spouse, I say, "Hey, put the headset on while I'm in my semi truck," because remember, I'm driving my semi truck. And so I can spend some quality time with my spouse or my loved ones, my kids, X, Y, and Z. So I like it. I like it a lot.
It's the immersiveness. And that's hard to convey.
Very hard to convey.
I've shown off the headset too a lot. Like, I'll bring the headset when I go to somebody's house, and then I'll try it, whatever. And it's always the same thing. It's always the same. They put it on, like, "Oh yeah, I heard this is fun." And as soon as they put it on, like the first second, they're like, whoa, like almost every time.
Well, right. For me, what I've done, I gave them baby food, because there's a stick. It's not a stigmata, because in the beginning of the metaverse, before Meta rolled it out and Vibe, you remember, guys, when they had those little telephones and you put them in a box? Remember that?
Yeah.
I
remember that.
And
those were great.
And well, the problem was that when they sent it to the community, everybody downloaded the circus rides and the trains.
Yeah.
And that's immediate vitiligo, immediate motion sickness. So that was bad. You know what I'm saying? So when I go out there for 5 years, I've been talking to the community in real life. That's what they're talking about. I'm scared. It makes my head foggy. And I said, just trust me. I'll bring you in the right way. And that's when I do mixed reality. They put it on their head. They say, oh, I see you. I say, yeah, shake my hand, as you see on my Instagram. Shake my hand. I say, give me a hug. They give me a hug. And they're like, now turn around. And they turn around. Then they see this portal. I'm like, what's that portal is? I said, I want you to walk inside the portal. And then they walk inside the portal. So what I'm doing, I'm easing them into the immersion versus you just put them in their headset. And then now they're like, oh, man, I don't like this. Because the importance that all the VR headsets have made a mistake at, from Vibe, from Oculus, from Vibe Index, from Apple Vision Pro, they do a bad representation of bringing people into the immersion.
It's almost like they're not trying. And obviously they are. They're spending millions and even billions. But they are not getting it.
They're not getting it that people, you need to break things down to people. And so now I had a lady and her family in Flamingo Casino. She says, no, Frankie, no, JahWadii. It gave me so much motion sickness, but she knows me and we know the bartender. And they're like, no, trust me. I'm going to bring you in the right way. I brought her in. She says, oh, this feels good. I still see you and you see me. And then now she turned around. She says, oh, this is what this is. And I say, yes, you can slowly come into it. And now she has 6 headsets that she's not using.
Yeah.
So now, right, because of her family.
Yeah.
And now, there's a lot of people I've met out there who have the headset, but because of motion sickness, they don't know. And they don't know about Horizon Worlds. They don't know about VR Chat. They don't know that there is a community in there. And then I'm helping the outside world because we need more people to come inside here. We really do. Yeah. We need to make the community grow.
I can help you with that.
How so?
Okay.
Well, I gotta be honest. I'm not worried about it. It's a matter of when, not if, because they are for sure coming. So sometimes I'll do little content and I won't be like. I've said a couple times and I've decided to not make such a big deal of it, but I'll be like, listen, if you don't believe in this, that's fine. I'll talk to you next year.
Okay.
But everybody who's curious, come in, because here's the thing. Look at just human nature. I mean, I'm not trying to act like a guru or anything, but look how we are with television and then with our phones and now with social media. Clearly, we are
oversaturated. It's oversaturated, right? And so we're coming this way.
And when we find something engaging, we stick with it. And man, this is engaging.
Now, the surprising thing is I bring them to a great experience through the mixed reality. Then sometimes I bring them into Horizon World or VR Chat. But then once that's done and they say, what's the Apple Vision Pro? I'm like, well, this is the next level where we're going, where all of us going. Because as the people know in here, Mark is working on what? Kodak avatars, right? And we're going there, maybe about 3 headsets away or 2 headsets away. So I tell them, I'll give you a taste on what Meta and all the VR community is doing. So they'll put on the VR headset. The ones that say, I don't believe in this, I don't think it's going. So I put on the Apple Vision Pro, and they're almost about in tears. They're like, this is where we're going. I says, yes, this is where we're going. He says, you know what? I need to buy me a headset. I'm going to buy me a Quest today. I had one guy at Bahama Breeze. He brought a headset because he wants to. He sees the vision. He sees the full vision. Like a lot of us in here, we're visionaries. We're curious and we're adventurous. So we see where this going. It's not this graphics right now. We're so smart. People in here are very smart and very acute. But what they see, what all of us see, we see the future. That's what we see.
Yeah. And when people finally do come in here, they get acclimated pretty quickly socially anyway. I know the motion sickness, varies with people. I mean, even in Horizon Worlds, I made the mistake of putting people on and letting them use my headset that has all the comfort settings turned off.
Correct.
So I and then they were only but Beat Saber was no problem. What if I'm going to introduce somebody to the metaverse? What's a specific app I should start with?
A specific app, most definitely is Figment XR. because Figment XR, you can build just like Horizon World, but in the mixed reality setting. Because what's going on is that your brain gets to see this atmosphere, and your brain begin to say, I can create. And then it begins to get jerky. It begins to piss all over itself like a dog that hasn't been touched in a while. So it gets excited. The brain get excited. That's what's going on. It's like, oh, I can create. I'm in my element. And it doesn't know what to do. So what you do, you bring them in through mixed reality first, because the brain says, I'm still here. I'm not in another dimension. I'm still here. Yeah. And you work in it. So that's why I tell them, turn around on my Instagram. And they're like, ooh, what is this portal? and then they ask me, can I walk in there? I say, yeah, you can walk in there and enjoy yourself. They walk in there and I say, rub the tiger. Oh, look at the video. Or look at this. And they're like, wow, that feels good. And I say, now turn back around. And I say, do you see the casino? Do you see me? I say, yeah, I do. They walk back out. Now they take the headset off. They say, that was impressive. They loved it. You get what I'm saying? Slowly bring them into it. Because the issue with what we're happening now, Meta has sold 30 million headsets, okay? But our retention, our retention is high though. A lot of people have the headsets, but they're bringing them down, putting them down. But because we have creators and we have a community that's in here, you know what I'm saying? That when they see new people, like, for example, like Tandy does a great job when she sees 2-3 new people, she's on top of it. Hey, you're new here? Da-da-da-da-da. I seen Boogie does it. I seen Juna do it well. And a lot of us in here do it well. When we see new people in here, we'll do a little makeshift tour. Come see this world. Come see this world. Which we're trying to get them animated and comfortable, which is important.
Yeah. It's surprising how nice people are in here. It took me a while to really start believing it. I was like, nice. Come on now. Is everybody this friendly? But I guess the thing is,
once you get deeper into the politics, then it gets a little shaky.
Well, and that's the thing, because this becomes so real for us. Yeah, people, you can get in arguments with people. You can be offended by people. You could, some people have fallen in love with each other. I certainly have a lot of friends. People that I communicate with outside of the headset now, and where I met them in the headset. Yeah,
that's a good point, because I've been here about for 8 years, and I had the Oculus at the college I was going through in Iowa before Meta purchased it. So I was like, it's on my website. And I'm like, okay, it's not here yet. Then I seen Facebook purchased Oculus. I say, oh, okay. And so the first place where I used to be at is VTime. And there's some people in here that experience VTime. We used to be in VTime all the time. VTime was the first VR Meta before Horizon World or Alt Space or even VR chat.
Okay.
Yeah, VTime was the place where everybody used to be at. And then big screen, then venues. And then venues converted into Horizon World. We used to meet in venues too. So it's challenging, but everyone who comes in here new have to go through the process, the good, the bad, and the ugly, the drama and X, Y, and Z. And hopefully they make it to the other side, which is being a creator and being a supporter of creations.
Making it over to the other side, creating and supporting is a great segue into talking about one of your latest productions, specifically Streetlights, which is a virtual reality experience here in Meta Horizon Worlds. You can go to Streetlights. It's published, right?
Correct. It's published right now. The autopilot version is published right now. It's doing good.
So autopilot, because you go in there and then we hear your voice, it's spoken word mixed with, audio and visual effects and movements, things. On its own, artistically, it's great. It's a really, really moving piece. The part I really want to get into is how it's something that can only be done in the metaverse. And you know what? Y'all are just going to have to go see it for yourselves. Go see Streetlights.
I've already seen it. It's good. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's really good. I went there like this. I was like, oh, I'm going to go shoot some video. Cool, to get some content. I'm going to go shoot some video. I'm going to get some content so I can inspire other people. There's things that other people are looking for, so let me share something unique. And I went through it, man. I was like, I think I might have even told you that. I was like, I didn't come here to feel, man.
Right. You told me some personal things at the end.
But I certainly did. I don't know how much you want to tell us about it, Well, do you want to share first why you decided to make this in Meta Horizon Worlds?
Well, I made it in alt space because of my background. I did stage play back in Florida, in Miami, Florida. I did stage plays about 3-5 years. And then 3 or 5 years stage play. And then I became a youth counselor. And then I became a counselor in the state of Florida, maybe about a good 7 years. And then when I came into Horizon World or alt space, I started creating psychological worlds. And Tandy, you was in alt space, right? Okay. And people like Tandy and other people will come to me and say, you know what, JahWadii, we notice about when you build things based on your experiences, right? I had the jail, everything. So I noticed my style of building, I build based on what I've been through in life. And so when I got to Horizon, I was already in Horizon, but when I came back to Horizon, the primitive shapes didn't allow it couldn't match the message, right? It could not. And so I didn't build it. Even people was asking me like, Jah, you gonna build? I'm like, I can't get there. And then when Trimesh came, people asked me, are you gonna build? Are you gonna build? Like, I don't know. And then I would say, all right, they forced me, I got into the program, and then I started looking at it, I'm like, you know what? Let me try doing the inner child. And then as I went to building the inner child, the world started talking to me, and I knew I needed to finish building. I'm starting to get emotional. Personally, I started crying. I started certain places at the bed, putting the hands, my body shook. I said, oh, this feels good. This feels good. And I said, okay, then I'm gonna stay on top of it. And you want me to add on?
Yeah, I know exactly which part you're talking about. Yeah, I just don't want to be specific. I don't want to give any spoilers. I don't know how much you want to tell people about what it's about or what the subject is.
I can because it's about a man looking for his inner child, which is my conscience. I'm looking for my sincerity. I'm looking for my when I used to cry emotionally. I'm looking for my satisfaction when I used to beg my mom, can you give me a Hershey chocolate? And then she gets it for me. And I was satisfied for a whole week because it was the big one. It wasn't the small Hershey's. It was that big one that come in the box. And I was so satisfied for 2 weeks straight, so happy. My mom had no issues. Like, what's wrong with him? Is he okay? He's in the corner. He's like, he's good. He got his Hershey chocolate. But now today I could buy 10 of them. I could buy 300 of them and I'm not satisfied. I'm like, what's going on in life? And I just realized I've been hurting people hurting me. It's an ongoing program with society and everything we've been through. And I say, you know what? Let me visit my first trauma. And so I went to visit my first trauma. And when I visited, my inner child says, here I am. You want to talk to me now? Are you tired of the world? You want to save me? You want to be with me? You want to spend some quality time with me? You want to put some value back into me? I'm like, wow. And I got in tears. So I just started building, and one of the reasons also too, another reason why I built it too, is because I wanted to protect people's mental health in here, because there's so many people that wants to do mental health. And because of my background as counsel and because of the IFA laws and confidentiality laws. And so I was like, people need to understand, like, you need to protect your traumas. Don't trauma dump in here. Like, be careful, But because I have the background, I was a counselor. I went through the process. I've done this on the outside already before, talking about not just my inner child, but I've dealt with the subject title being molested. So I've already spoken to 5,000 people about it in years back. So it wasn't nothing hard for me to do now. That's why the project is so clean. That's why it's in chronological order. That's why it's rails set up perfectly. So I had no issues doing that. I just wanted to show people, like, be careful. Don't trauma dump unless you knew you went through the process privately.
Process, I think, is a big one that people don't understand. Like, you can just talk about something, but it's a process, and the process is usually painful.
It's painful. The process is very painful because it took you 30 years or 40 years or 20 years, some 5 years to get into all that pain. And you think 15 minutes of conversation going to get you out or get you healed. And no one can heal you. It's only you can heal you, right? Yeah. No one can heal you. People can help you. People can throw you some knowledge, some wisdom, give me some comfort. But at the end of the day, You have to make that quality decision for yourself to get it. And so that's why the man finding his inner child is actually a mirror that I'm going to go look for it. And then also it opens up the floodgates for Horizon World to do different things. We don't have to do, you don't have to do an inner child. Somebody could use that system the way I built it. They could use it for artistic, or they have a museum. They could do it as a museum. Or if they're trying to sell houses, they could do it that way. Or they're trying to do couches. You could do it any kind of way. You could use that same system and use it that way where it becomes an experience. So if you're doing a museum, you're doing a talk show, not a talk show, but you get me, you're trying to, you see what I'm saying? Yeah. You can actually bring people in your experience of the idea that you have. So it opens up plethora of doors, you know.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I found remarkable. Like it really was touching and inspiring. But what I want a lot of people in here to know is that when you see it, you'll see what's possible in Meta Horizon Worlds. I know most of the people in here, most of us are, veterans, and we've been here for a while, and a lot of stuff's like cutesy or all right or super short. But this is you haven't seen anything like this in Meta Horizon Worlds yet. Okay, so yes, I'm really hoping, because here's the thing. I like the idea that, you can come in here and make a talk show, or you make a bar, or you make a game, or you make a restaurant or a race car game or something. But this is the metaverse. Anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
Yeah, and this is the culmination of something that only you could do with your experiences, with your trauma, with your story, with your counseling experience, with your metaverse experience, all that put together. There's only one JahWadii.
Correct, and also
then it shows in here. Yeah.
Yeah. What's good about it too is what's good about it. What's good about it too. We can hear you, Randy.
Yeah, I wanted some ice water.
Hey, Randy, we can hear you, buddy.
And what's I want some ice water.
Gotta get that water.
And what's good about it is that there's a guy that I talked to in my truck, and there's maybe about 3-4 other guys that I talk to outside the world. They don't have the headsets. But we're going back and forth and talking about the creation of this world that I'm creating, and they're giving me pointers and I'm giving them pointers, and they're watching videos on Instagram, and they're like, wow, they never had the headset on, but they are so dialed into the storyline. So the guy says that I'm gonna get my son to watch this because I think the daughter has the headset, the number 2. So he says he's going to get his older son, because his older son are going through some things, but they never experienced the metaverse. And so it makes it so, for me, it's like that. I worked hard for that, to get people in the real world to find entrance in something that they don't even have the headset on, but they're talking about the dialogue of the conversation of the project that I created. So that was very impressive. And because I do want the community to grow, I want it to grow. I loved it. It helped me so much.
Now, as far as your outreach into the public, a lot of it's on your Instagram, right?
Correct. Instagram. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So y'all can see that Mr. Metaverse. It's spelled Mr. MR period, and then Metaverse is Meta META and the letters VS. Like verse, like a sports team, Chicago versus Charlotte, whatever. So yeah, Mr. Metaverse. And I think that's pretty remarkable. For those of y'all who haven't seen it, definitely go see Streetlights. Is there any other of you? Well, I guess once we see one of your worlds, we'll be able to see the rest and what you got going on.
Well, how Streetlights is set up, I was going to release it 2 weeks from now, but I talked with my team and we said we're going to release. I released it like 2-3 days ago. But there is a live production too as well.
Yes.
So you have
tell us about the live.
So you have the autopilot, which is it's 3 stages in the autopilot. But when I do the live presentation for every stage, I'm doing it now. I'm going full live acting mode. I'm in your face. It's immersive. It's not far away. Like even with these seats, I'm close up to the audience, and it's a live production where it hits home. And you can see me. I may get emotional. I may shed tears, but I'm still in acting mode. Then it gets to the second stage, and I'm starting at the second stage. I got Rick, I think, coming in to sing a song. But the live version is where the world comes alive even more.
Hi,
So
Blondie,
the live
I'm up
version,
here.
it may be released maybe next week. It may be released next week when I'm going to do the live.
Okay, the live version start. Okay, so I'm definitely going to be posting about it. I'll get the word out when he's going to be doing his live performances. That's going to be really cool. I mean, that's going to be different than even what I've seen so far yet. So,
and then also that's 3 parts. There's 3 parts to this world. So what we all experiencing is part 1.
Okay.
So there's 2 more parts.
Part
there's
1.
2 more parts. Part 1 of the inner child street lights.
Yeah.
So there's part 1 street lights, which is 1, part 2 street lights, and part 3 street lights.
Oh
so
man, already got me hanging. Yeah, I'm already on board for it. So, and for those of y'all who thinking, oh, this guy's a talk show host, he's just saying what he's got to say. Go see it. Come tell me. Come tell me if I exaggerated. You know, this is out. I should have mentioned this in the beginning, but this is going out on my live stream, Teacher Danny VR on YouTube right now. Camera bot here. Even though he's in the shot, he's getting us our last few minutes of the show. Is there anything else you want to share about the metaverse or your journey or streetlights before we go?
What I would like to share is let's keep building and whomever is creating something that to get the attention of the outside people to come in, let's also really lean on that. Because we need people to come in. Because if Tammy does great in what she has, or Juna has an idea, or Rick has an idea, but we're noticed that people are coming in because what he's bringing in or what she's bringing in is bringing more people in to see your world, and it's going to eventually see my world and see her worlds. So it helps everybody. It helps everybody. But if we and of course it got to be quality worlds. Because we're trying to hit a mark, just like Meta's trying to hit a mark, right? And so we need to be honest with ourselves, like what really works. And that's why when I go out and deal with the community, I don't coach them like, you should like this. No, I want to see real reactions because I need to know what works and what don't. And I'm writing down mental notes. Okay, that don't work. Okay, this works. Okay, that don't work. Okay, this works. That way I can be more effective. I need to know what works, you know? And so once we do that, we could bring them in and they could be blown away, be like, wow, I came in Horizon before, but I didn't know that they had this and they had that. I cried today. Wow, I laughed today. You know, imagine Streetlights was a comedy show, right? Imagine it was a comedy show. And I'm doing a comedy show that way. And they came in like, I laughed so hard. Oh, man, you don't even know how long I didn't laugh. I went 3 years without smiling because I'm just dealing with my life. Or, you know, and they laugh and like, wow, this was such a great experience versus, you know, what we've been doing now, which is great. But that's building to getting to where we were going. Yes. Have I built a house before? Yes. Have I built a studio before? Yes. Have I built a talk show before? Yes. But like you said, teacher, Danny, you said in the metaverse, you can do whatever you want. You can build whatever you want. And that's literally, you can build whatever you want. Take advantage.
All right. You heard it here. JahWadii, thanks so much for coming on my show. I really appreciate it. This is going to be a hit. I'm already sure. Go see Streetlights. The autopilot is out. Part 2 is coming soon, and then part 3 not so soon. And also keep a lookout for Mr. Metaverse's Instagram because we're going to be able to find out when he's performing it live. So that's going to be a real special treat. And you're going to want to see it after you've seen it the first time.
Let me also add this too as well. I do have a schedule board at Street Life too as well. So you could go in there too to see the schedule to see when I'm performing live too as well. For those who don't do social media, I have to put that in there too as well. Some people don't do social media at all. But you can go into my world and you will see a schedule on there, which will be updated next week. And you'll see if it's live or whatnot. That makes sense?
That makes perfect sense. Yeah. When you go in there, maybe you'll want to take a friend in there, check it out. You'll see the time, so you'll be updated. That's great.
That's right.
Regardless, I'd really love it if everybody comes up to the stage and takes a selfie with me. You know, just everybody who was at the show over the years.
I'm so happy for you.
You know,
buddy.
because I couldn't do it any other way.
What's up, Barry?
You got the bot. You got the bot. You know.
Hey, Tandy.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Good job.
It was a great show. Great show. It was really good.
All right, good. We got you in there.
Hold on.
All right,
Come on.
Barry, you're welcome in. You're welcome in. Just because
You're
you didn't.
welcome.
Yeah. But, all right. He's in a coin. I know what that means. Everybody, this has been the Teacher Danny Show. Special guest JahWadii. Check us out every Tuesday at 7 p.m. here Eastern here in Meta Horizon Worlds.
Here, let me take a picture too here. Come on, Tandy. Come on, Rick. Come on, Grady. Oh no, Randy. Randy gonna kill me.